on Facebook now. It will take another few minutes to do that. You know, internet in Africa.
I can see.
It's not as fast as other places.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
It's a work in progress.
right, right. Normally, it shouldn't take long before it is working there, but you know, here it is.
Which which connections are you right now?
Say it again.
Which connections? Is it official or
I'm using
the internet provider?
a Wi-Fi provider.
Wi-Fi, okay. Okay.
Right. So we'll be live in just a moment.
Mhm.
Right. And we are live now. There it is. Right. Hello, good evening, and welcome to yet another edition of Generation Next event that comes to you on this platform. Generation Next, our focus and objective is to help inspire, motivate, and direct young people's participation towards responsibilities in the developing society. We hope by sharing our stories and the stories of our amazing speakers, you are inspired. It is said that young people are the future leaders, and therefore supporting the young people will help make greater young future leaders tomorrow. And today we have another amazing young person who we're going to share his story with us. At the end of the day, I believe everyone that follows or is following is going to be inspired by the amazing story of our speaker. But before we bring the speaker on, my name is Mohamed Traore. I am your host, and I'm sitting in for Ms. Siri Chol, who unfortunately is not with us today. So to introduce to you our amazing speaker, I will just in a moment share my screen with you, and then you'll be able to see the amazing speaker that we're going to see with you in just a moment. Right. So quickly sharing our screen so that our beautiful viewers can see who our amazing speaker is today, and we can introduce him to you. Right. Right, as you can see on the screen here, our speaker is Mr. Alhage Ceesay. He's from North Bank, a village called Cape Demba, but originally from Bakataji, URR. He did his senior secondary school at Newsford from 2003 to 2005, where he served as a deputy head boy. Ceesay proceeded to develop tutors where he did certified accounting technician CAT during the time. He was also elected as PRO of NAPSA, another national student union body at the time. He resigned and later traveled to the UK to study before he finished the CAT program. Fast forward, today he holds a BSc, Accounting and Finance, graduate from the UK. He is currently studying Masters in Information System and Business Analysis at Austin University. Raji worked as a NatWest Bank mortgage technical specialist and then proceeded to HMRC. He is currently working for Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs as research and data analyst in properties valuation department. He has strong ties to the Gambia. Almost all his family are there, or rather here. He and his wife, or basically Mrs., have ventured in fashion and tailoring business in the Gambia. Mr. Alhage Ceesay have been mentored by the UK parliamentarians in the past 3 years, and he have participated in many projects geared to uplift and enhance social mobility within young people in the society. As an entrepreneur, he would want to really connect with lots of young people and organizations to see ways to connect those missing dots and empower each other in a very progressive way. Wow, what an impressive way to introduce you, Mr. Ceesay. Welcome to Generation Next.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thanks
Right,
to have me.
great. This is amazing. I mean, when I was going through your brief introduction, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of journeys you've gone through. You know, from Pakataji, traveling down, being in Kerdemba, and then from Kerdemba to Newsrat, and then the story goes on. But we'll start all over again. Let's start from the whole journey. You're from Pakataji, as you put it, and then in Kerdemba. Maybe you can take us through how that journey begins.
Yeah, actually, I'm born in Kedemba. I'm yes, my parents, both parents from Bakadaji. Dad resided in Kedemba, being an imam there. So I set up a family, and we are all born in Kedemba, except my eldest siblings. So yeah, from Kedemba, that's where I grew up as a young man. I went to Pakau Primary School, and from Pakau proceeded to Albreda Junior Secondary School. Yeah, spent some time there. I was residing at Jufre briefly during
Right.
that time in Albreda. Been taking this house in Jufre.
Okay.
Yeah, and from there, then I proceed to Newsrat. Yeah, so mainly, our background as a family was quietly embedded with farming. Farming changed, revolutionized our life. My mom particularly has been a great farmer, and in the North Bank there, hardly you would go to a village who wouldn't know her name. Yeah,
Wow.
and that's how we start. I mean, change lives within our family our family setup.
Great,
Yeah.
great. I mean, the journey is so amazing from Bagadaji to Kerdemba, and then eventually to Newsrat. And of course, like you said, you guys are well known for farming. I hope yourself you are very good in that.
Not at the moment, but yes, from childhood, I can vividly remember. I was called Scorpion.
Okay.
I was called Scorpion because I was so quick in the way I do things.
Right.
If they want to send kids to home from the farm, they would normally pick me because
Wow.
that's how quick I was.
Oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute. Wait a minute. So if they want to send somebody home, that's what you are best good at, not in the farm itself. Is that what you're
No,
trying to
no,
say?
no. I'm showing how quick. I mean, somebody. It's like a messenger, but
Okay. Yeah.
at the same
Right.
sense, I was so good at
Okay.
I was good at that.
Okay.
I didn't spend much in the farm though, because
Okay.
my life I left home very early
Okay.
to Albreda, and from Albreda straight to Juswan.
Okay.
Just right. Yeah.
Right. So let's go through your educational career at Newsrat, for example, from Newsrat and how it goes through. Maybe take us through how everything started.
Yeah, actually, educational wise, Newsrat has, a lot of impact in my life. That's where normally I said that's where I rediscover myself,
Right.
my potentials, and what I'm capable of.
Mhm.
Because somebody imagine somebody from the rural area, North Bank, coming to Newsrat at the time. Many people perceive me as a fana boy, but at the time, which I don't blame them, but I wasn't. But then coming to Newsrat, grade 10 to grade 11, I nearly, had the negative peer influence, nearly. But up to the point there was one day, Mr. Ceesay, our economic lecturer, had to point me out in the class and said, "You boy, if you don't careful, you'll be the father of this school."
Wow.
Because I was at the back. Normally, at that time, I normally sit at the back. And then with those boys that normally make noise. Right. So, and then I was talking when the lecture was going on, when Mr. Ceesay was going on, and then suddenly he said, "You keep quiet. If you don't careful, one day you become the father of the school if you don't careful." I said, "What?" That really touched me. And that was a turning point.
That's a message to you, right?
Yeah, that was a message to me. Even though I've never been too bad in school, right. I wouldn't beat my chest. But then at that point, I realized I felt it so much because everybody laughed, and I said, no, that's not me.
That's not the best description of you, right?
Yeah, that's not me. Right. So immediately after, during the break, I went to the staff room. Right there, I went to staff room and apologized to him, and then from there, it's like I was one of the best in economics.
Wow.
In our class. And even if Mr. Ceesay is not in a particular day, like he would hand me over the notebook to lecture in one of the arts classes in economics.
That is impressive.
And at the end, before the turn of grade 11, that's why these head boy things comes in. And I was picked among my friends, my best friends, that I have to lead. And I said, you know what, since the outgoing head boy is also from the commerce area, let's sit down as commerce students and pick the best person that will lead us. And they said, no, you are the one that we trust, and you are the one that we think can take us forward. I said, okay, that's fine. That's how I put forward my candidacy. And thank God, I mean, my victory was not purely because of me, was because the people that have surrounded me and also my mentor. Because Mr. Bumi Kamara is currently in Ghana. He was the person that I really look up to at the time. He was like my mentor, the guy that normally, direct me academically. He assists me in writing my speech and all other things, campaign strategy and things like that. So it was quite an interesting moment. I won that elections and then became head boy. But that head boy, tenure has really given me the confidence and the ability to sell my agenda as a young person at the time. Yeah.
That is amazing. I mean, few learning points from that. At the beginning, you said nearly, using the word nearly, because of the peer pressure or peer influence that you were having at the time. So choice of friends is very important.
It's quite important. Very, very important. Yeah. Because at the early stage, grade 11, before being the head boy or something like that, or before Mr. Ceesay, mocked me in the class. I used to leave my hair long. In fact, one point, Mr. Kimukai had to warn me that if you don't cut your hair next time, I'm going to stop you from coming in. Because so that was all, the pressure of the peer influence and all other things like that. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be, you want to associate with friends that are doing things that
would add value to your life than being something else. And the turnaround for you was thanks to Mr. Ceesay, who mocked you, and the mock came out to be something that changed the whole game for you.
Game point, yes, that's correct. Yeah, yeah.
And I like the fact that you are bold enough to walk into him and apologize, and then therein you step in and realize that, listen, I'm taking a path that is not working for me. I think what this guy told me is the right path I should take. And I think it had worked out for you immensely.
Yeah. Not many people at the age would thought of that.
That absolutely.
But then I think that also started early on, even in junior school. Mr. Gite in Albreda, who was the vice principal at the time, he was also my mentor, kind of my mentor in that school.
Right.
If I have issues, even from the family level, I would involve him. I wasn't big to to say, oh, you know what, I can do this alone. I always have someone that I can approach to, and I'm so humble. That is embedded in me for a long time now. Yeah. So that is a strategy that I think many young people need to have.
Absolutely.
To see that you don't have to be proud of yourself to say that, oh, I let go.
Right.
Understand? You have to manage the issues. You have to manage conflicts at a very early on in life to be able to to be where you want to be. I think that's quite important. Yeah.
Quite important. And those are very wonderful remarks that you've just highlighted there. So, but moving on, we've seen that you've also moved to Jollof Tutors after Nusra and then started studying certified accounting technician, CAT.
Yeah.
What inspired you along that line to move into that direction?
Yeah, I mean, Kemokai. Kemokai inspired me. Kemokai was also a person that I really look up to. He inspired me a lot.
Okay.
And because of his, competency and ability in that area, really inspired me to go into accounting, and hence before my results comes out, grade 12, I enrolled in Jollof Tutors. I was a person that never sits and waits for things to come. You understand? And even when I was in grade 12, I used to conduct extra classes for grade 9 up to grade 12 in my house.
Wow.
I had the luxury in Juswang, where my brothers, it's a family compound. Right. I reside there with other tenants. I collect rent. I manage the compound basically. But then I have my special place there where I stay. But then that house was like a classroom. It's a typical classroom. Yes, it was like I used to conduct these extra classes for the grade 9 students up to grade 12. Even those that I'm sharing the same class in Nusrat grade 12 will normally come there for classes. So from there also I was able to buy the PC for myself, even though a lot of things have been so easy because my big brother, my senior brother, has really stood up to make sure that my educational life transitions is smooth. But nevertheless, I never rely on those opportunities to improve myself. So I've always been there to be independent, to do things and be a problem solver, if you like. So from there, when I started grade 12, I went to Jollof to make sure that I utilize that time, not sitting down doing nothing. And that's where the biggest opportunity that has came, and that is the study abroad opportunity. Right. Yes, and I leverage on that opportunity to travel to UK. But yeah, in between, I was also the NAFSA, the PRO, the deputy PRO for NAFSA. Yeah, I didn't stay there for long. Yeah, for many reasons. One of them, internal politics. But then, yeah, Kemokai encouraged us, Nusrat, our principal at the time, Mr. Bowman, yeah, encouraged us to join NAFSA.
Okay.
But whilst we were there, I mean, because of internal politics, me and the head boy, you know, we felt that this is not the place that we should be. So we resigned. Yeah, shortly, then I traveled to UK.
Amazing. That is impressive. I mean, I've seen that you really have good people that you look up to, and along the way they've been giving you that support and that advice that has shaped you along the way to be where you are journeying. In a nutshell, what you're telling is that it is very important to have a mentor, to have role models, to have people around you who can help shape your future for you in certain way.
Absolutely. 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 Yeah, I've always relied on that.
Right. And a lot of young people today don't seem to take that as a leverage to hold on to be able to, you know, be in positions like you are today.
Yeah, it's quite important to have a mentor in life. I wouldn't say there's an age limit as to where, how, or when you should not be having a mentor. A mentor is an important element in life. It's a person, should be a person that you should approach if before you're going into anything, to have a second thought, or a more progressive way would be to take you from one stage to another. You understand, in life. I think you definitely need that. My big brother, Kausu, he's always been there for me in my journey. Like I said, in our family compound there, he particularly, put that aside, not for rent or any other thing, that I should use that place to stay in order to do my education the way I want it. But also, he is a businessman. He is a businessman, and then he hasn't been to school or whatsoever. But then the wealth he has managed to gather within that short period of time, with the help of God, was all because of hard work, perseverance. So he inculcated those senses in me at a very early stage as well, that for you to succeed, at times education helps, but it doesn't purely depend on education. You can succeed with hard work. Yeah, those philosophies were very important. So he's my lifetime, mentor. He inculcated those senses in me at a very early stage. Amazing. And I think those helped me a lot.
That's amazing. Thanks to your brother, as you say, he also take part. Like I said, I think your life has been around a lot of amazing people that definitely did their part in helping you become who you are today.
Yeah.
But stepping backward again on your educational career, from Jollof Peoples, you traveled to the UK, and you studied accounting and finance. And you have your BSc currently, and now you're also doing your master's. Take us through the journey. When you just came to the UK, how was it for you until you were able to settle down to be where you are today?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I mean, it wasn't easy at all, because especially when you travel without someone over the other side, that's going to accommodate you and then also take you through life in that strange country, it will never be easy for anyone, I would say. But then, like I said, for me, like my experience and who I am back in Gambia has really helped me, that transition from Gambia to UK, because I never rely on anyone to succeed or to be what I wanted to be.
Right.
I've always been a problem solver. I've always relied on my ability to solve things within. You understand? So that really helps me to take care of issues that I was facing whilst I was in a country that was really tough, yeah, at the beginning. But then I helped my little sister too, who joined me shortly, because she's our child, and I really loved her that much. My mom she's the mom, so I make sure she come, and then we were together supporting each other. Now, instead of one person, I've brought one person in additions, so we are now two, and that also helps to make sure that we can achieve our collective, aims and ambitions. So she being around was like a reminder of where I come from, and also a support base. Yes. So I think that's what anybody needed. Right. Especially those of us that came at the time for study. But then down the line, things change. There can be delays. Nevertheless, I've never taken anything for granted. I stood by my instinct, and I stood by my belief that for me, education is my way out.
Right.
A lot of delays during the way, along the way, but then thank God, when I had the opportunity, when the opportunity strikes in, I took full advantage of those opportunity, and study and start my studies at the university in accounting and finance, which I graduated last year, and now I'm doing my master's in information system and business analysis in Aston. Yes, so education, before I finished my undergraduate, I had that job at NatWest. NatWest Bank has a mortgage technical specialist. So going back to education, education is important. It is quite important in life.
Right.
It is the fastest way that you can change things around.
Absolutely.
But I would say you don't really have to rely on only education. Alongside, you really have to be determined, to be brave enough, get out of your comfort zone and go after those opportunities that are out there, because you need to believe in yourself first. Your internal strength. Your internal strength is everything. Opportunities are there, and job-wise, and you name them. But then your internal strength, you need to be leveraged. You need to be able to capitalize on your internal strength to capture those opportunities that are there. So yes, so my educations in undergraduates degree really helped me to step up into my professional career. You understand? So yes, and the experience in NatWest is quite an important one. It was purely a customer service, but in a sense that we look into more details of our clients to able to understand their issues or the problems that they are facing that has resulted them being in areas. So is in essence, we are like a doctor that will look into their financial problems and see how to address those issues. So the same thing goes out there for everyone or anyone that's watching this. At times, it is quite important. Those that you are serving, you put your best to make sure that you are not only just there for your wages, but you are there to turn their life around. This goes out to especially those in the Gambia as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Alhage, this is very rich advice that you've just given to everybody, including anyone, anywhere you are. This is important. You don't have to say, well, I'm just here to get my pay, but you need to make sure that your contributions to whichever organization you're working for worth it. And at the end of the day, it pays a lot to you as an individual, as a person, and also for the organization. That's a good advice. But you made mention of bringing on your sister joining you. It's like now you have a family around you. It means your transition from the Gambia to the UK was seamless because you're not feeling lonely any longer when your sister join you because you have a family around you. So it means in a sense it's giving you that leverage to be able to focus on things that is going to add value to you and to her and to your family as a whole to make sure that things are achieved.
Yeah.
Impressive. Impressive. Impressive.
It also goes back to say, don't never forget who you are or where you come from or who made you who you are at that point in time. If you are better off, always think back what you can give back to your community, to your family. Yes. For me, I have never, left my family out of the picture. I've always considered them in whatever I do and whatever I have. So bringing my sister was fundamental not just for me, but then for my mom, because she's our chat.
Right. Moms like chats, obviously.
Moms like chats. So I'm trying to make her happy in a sense. You understand?
Yeah.
But then also she's a support, like you rightly said. She's a support base for me here as well. We look after each other. She's give me that sense of yes, we are here together. You understand? And that was helpful. That was helpful. So always think, even for Newsrat, I've given some donation to Newsrat, not because for name but it's because Newsrat has been there for me. Newsrat have really helped me in many ways. Yes. So always think about, giving something back to your community or those that have made you who you are. That's quite important. Never forget that. Yeah.
You need to show gratitude to those that have been around you, who have supported you through. So thank you very much. This is an advice to all of us as young people in the communities, in the societies, where we can also give back to our community. You said Newsrat has been there for you, and therefore you are also giving back to Newsrat. That is good. And I hoping that a lot of us will be emulating that as well, who can also give back to those that have given you something during your life journey when you were, under the transitions of the journey of life. But what makes you build the interest? I know you're also an entrepreneur now. How did it all come about? What makes you build an interest? This will not come as a surprise, though, when you mentioned from the beginning of your conversation regarding, but let me hear it from your own book.
I would say definitely. I know you're gonna pick on that.
Right.
Yes, it goes back to our what I said at the beginning, that my brother ventures into business. He's a big businessman. Yeah. yeah, there's no need to go into details. But then as Jagankas, I mean, we don't go into government too much. We're not into government too much. But you would say knowledge, education, and business. We normally venture into these things a lot.
Right.
So my brother was inspired me into business. I know what he has managed in business. I know what as a family, what business have done for us and for the people around us as well. You understand? So a business is not only about wealth or generating income out of it. You're also looking at the corporate social responsibility as well. Like I said, my mom, back in days, we were we were a big farmer in that village. Every community, every village surrounding us normally will come to work for us in our farm. You understand?
Yeah.
Every community, you wouldn't make during the rain season, you wouldn't see you wouldn't know a village surrounding us that wouldn't come into our farm.
Right. Wow.
People all over that community normally would come and work, and my mom would pay them, on a daily basis. So that goes back into business. Business, yes, you can gain income and you can make profit, and the profit is, the bottom line. But then the other aspect is social impact. Is the how you help other people engage in society. Yeah. So by setting up a business, for me personally, yes, is to look back in Gambia. No matter whatever you have out there abroad, whatsoever, you always have to think back, where you come from.
Indeed.
What is your footprint? What's your social responsibility footprint? So for us, we thought, yes, this is the cash flow. This is what we can do to reinvest into business for ourselves, but also for the young people that we're going to employ, and every other person that's going to benefit from it in the Ghana. Yeah.
That is quite interesting and amazing to know that this is coming from generation, because from the mother to your brother, to you, of course. I wouldn't be surprised if you also pass it on to the young one.
In fact, the business we have in Gambia, I name it after my daughter. Well, my mom. Okay. I named my daughter to my mom. Yeah. So my sibling. Yeah.
Wow. So obviously she's gonna take over and then run with it and fly.
Hopefully.
Indeed. Yeah. That's amazing. And how is the business doing? And where is this business located in the Gambia?
It's located in Sukuta. It's doing well. It's more like a particular time of the year that the business is doing well than the other months of the year. But right now it's a little bit quieter, but then it's good. I think every business, it's not, you don't look at the short-term, achievements or the objectives. You always have to consider the long-term impact, what the business would be in 5-10 years time. If the process are right, the long term would be good. You understand?
Yeah.
The human capital, the constraint part is the human capital, and I think that is the problem in Gambia.
That's right.
The internal resources, yeah, in terms of people. But then at the end of the day, what I said is this: you don't have to look at the ideal solution, the ideal condition
Mm-hmm.
for you to flourish. You always have to, how would I say it? You always have to create an allowance, a kind of a compromise
Right.
with,
Sort of.
with your expectation and standards.
Right.
Yes, to allow people to grow, to allow people to catch up with the benchmark or whatsoever.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Yeah, I think that is essential. So hence the journey can never be smooth, all smooth. Yeah, but then with this mindset in place, definitely would be a good journey in a long run.
Interesting. This is quite an amazing conversation we have, Alhage. I mean,
Yeah.
and I have seen from from your brief bio that we read,
Yeah.
you have also been mentored by UK parliamentarians. How did it all start, and what built up this relationship?
Yeah, I mean that actually was like started at my undergraduate studies, Birmingham City University, where four of us represented our university in that. It's a project. It's a social project. So four of us represented our university to be mentored by one members of MP, UK members of MP. And in the process, we have to, start a project. We have to create a project where we would leave a lasting legacy in that community, in whatever community. So yeah, it was a wonderful project. It was a wonderful project. I had an experience to talk and and connect with a lot of MPs, not just the one that mentored us.
Okay.
Because we've been in the parliament, we've been visiting a lot of the UK parliamentarians.
Right.
And I had this conversation with a lot of them that in life, you don't only look at the monetary aspect. You have to consider the service for people. You understand?
Very important.
Yeah, service for people, volunteering and service for people. And from there, we set up our project. I was looking at the social mobility within the minority group in that locality, and we found out that the young people, especially those from the minority group, were not, much into employment. So we try to look at the root causes of why that is the case. So, and I conducted a research, as a secondary research, and then found out that the reason is because of, one of them is soft skills. Most of them lack these soft skills to be effectively looking or seeking for jobs or going into employment. You understand? So hence, that has an impact with the social mobility aspect, because in the UK, you can live in Birmingham and work in London. You understand?
Right.
Our train, the transport system is effective, I would say, in some sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
quite the contrary, right? And if you would put it here in the context of
exactly. So hence, that distance is not more a constraint for many people.
wow.
But what was lacking was the ability for these young people to be motivated. The ability to motivate is in itself a soft skill. You understand?
Right.
Yes. So a soft skill is a very broad term, but it's those small things that now people are calling it a life skill. You need to have it for you to to sustain in your life. You understand? Yeah, these are the ability, even the courage, the ability to wake up in the morning and tailor your CV in a proper way that the employers would accept. That in itself is a soft skill. You understand?
Right.
Your ability to attend your lecture in your university or your class, make sure you don't get late every single day. Those are soft skills. Those are skills that you require for you to make it, for you to stand out. You understand?
Right.
Yeah. So those small things that are affecting these young people, we look into those things to improve those aspects that they are lacking, so that they will be more employable. And that was a very wonderful project from the bigger picture. Yeah, looking at from the bigger. So yeah, that, and then the mentor element, yes, was great. Like I said, I always rely on mentor, and having a mentor that has that vast experience, a UK parliamentarian, was a great thing. That has helped me a lot as well.
let me preempt. We see in Alhage in the near future being politician in the Gambia. Having had some prior guidance from the parliamentarians in the UK and how parliament works and things like that, would that motivate you?
No.
Not at all.
I've never contemplated on that. No.
Great.
No.
Looking forward. I hope you will you will help us in that aspect as well.
Yeah.
To share your knowledge and the expertise from at least
politics. Politics is interesting though. I mean, because
right.
it's not like, I mean, you have to go deep into it for you to be politicians. Yeah, you understand? Because each and every one of us, politics affects us one way or the other.
Absolutely.
You understand? So therefore, in the discourse, yes, we can discuss within. We can share ideas as to how we want the politician to rule us, but not necessarily becoming a politician. You understand? So I don't mind that. And
Alhage is more of a businessman than
yeah.
That's quite interesting. I mean, you've also mentioned that you like to connect with young people and organizations. That will also be very interesting if you can share more light on that. Like, because once you say, connecting with young people and organizations, to connect the missing dots. What are you trying to highlight with the missing dots?
Yeah, I mean, that's a quite important question, Mr. Traveler. See, the connecting dots here means in life, like I said initially, you don't have to rely on people to be who you are to an extent. In this generation, the global village right now, the world has evolved
quite a lot.
And at some extent, you need to know certain people, you need to be connected. Yeah, for you to step up, for you to climb the ladder from one stage to other, you need to be connected somehow. You understand? Sabu, yeah. Before, at times, before you gain something, someone need to be the intermediary.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Yeah. Not necessarily the person would favor you. Yeah, but you have to go to that channel for you to gain what you wanted. Not for purely your interest, but for mutual interests, where all the parties involved can benefit. You understand? So Gambians, yes, Gambians are quite much into the social media, but the connections there need to focus more on leveraging our potentials.
Indeed.
You understand? Like what you are doing. This is a wonderful, the Generation Next is a typical example to connect people, but not just connecting people, motivating, empowering each other to, to realize our potentials.
Indeed.
So at times you cannot do it alone. You
Absolutely.
have to depend on someone. That is the reality of it in life. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have to depend on the reliable person. Yeah. So when you connect in the dot, the thing that people should be worried about is to connect with the wrong people, though. But connection is a very important ingredient for the global village right now.
That's
Yes.
true.
So young people out there should try all means, to be connecting with the right people. Yeah. To make sure that that gap is filled. Yeah.
Connecting with the right people. I want to believe you are a living example of that. From the beginning of the conversations, if anyone is following, you've already quickly picked that out.
Yeah.
You almost or nearly, it costs your life, but thanks to someone highlighting something that make you realize that, listen, this is not, and that was amazing. So you are a living example of
Yeah.
having the right people around you, making sure that you have people that will help you and
Yeah.
save you and talk to you and make you become who you are today. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've been talking for this long, and obviously this is very interesting. I know the
Yeah.
conversation will go for who knows, but you don't have all the time for us.
Yeah.
I know you're very busy and quite engaged in a lot of other activities. Maybe you will be running into something quite quickly, but before we get a leave of you,
Yeah.
you give us what advice can you leave with the young people in the global village? Like you said, everybody is engaged in social media and things like that, but the contents and the purpose of which they're using it for, is it adding value to their lives or not? Like what Generation Next is doing, for example. We are trying to create awareness, engage more other people to help inspire other people. Like yourself right now, your story being heard is going to help a lot of other people being inspired to know that life is not as easy as we expected it to be. It's a journey. It's never
Yeah.
something that you will just get all of a sudden and then be where you are. No, you have to go through a lot of stages, difficult, easy, but you have to travel through them. What would be your
Yeah.
advice to the young
True.
people?
True. First of all, the I would guess our main audience are Gambians. So my first advice would goes to the young people, especially those in the education system. Do not, because I understand this back in days. Do not go to school and think that you have to pass exams.
Right.
You have to pass exams by all means, by all means, by cramming and have a good pass, and that's it.
That's it. Right.
It's quite important for me. For me, I've never been the top student in my life, but I've been in the height in terms of my performance. But what was more important to me was to understand, and hence back to our discussion before, I was in grade 12 and I was lecturing my peers.
Wow.
But then what made that possible was that I am a person that have interest on understanding issues rather than to just cram it and pass, or in an educational setup and pass exams. No, you understand. So our education system, I know that has a problem. I I watched your previous interview. Oh, somebody was just, explaining that aspect, the educational issues in the Gambia. And I think it's a quite interesting point. Is education system need to evolve now. People need to understand that education, the essence of education is to broaden your mindset. The essence of education is to broaden your mindset, to make you able to do things on yourself when you graduate. We don't have to rely on the government to provide us employment. We should, when we are going to school, or when we are going through educational system, all the way to university, we should always put at the back of our mind that at the end of this transition, at the end of this project, if or without government, I can support myself. I can create things for myself. I can fix issues within my society. Yeah, you understand? Be it whatever form, as long as it's positive, you can fix issues within your society. If you can do that, you are not only doing good for yourself, but for the whole community. You understand? But our education system is programmed in such a way that if students graduate, they're expecting employment. Yeah, you understand? That is a main problem. And yeah, you want to?
No, go ahead. I'm just saying, I'm confirming what you said. Go ahead.
Yes, and the second part also is to tell young people to embrace technology. Technology is like, for me, my undergraduate is accounting and finance, and I think my life is also surrounded with accounting. But now things are changing fast, and hence my master's course can tell you where my mind is going towards.
I see that.
Yeah. So things are changing a lot. The pandemic has also given us that hint that, now things are going to change forever. And young people out there need to embrace technology. And I think our government need to set an example. But then everybody, especially those on social media, they should be, they should understand that not just going to social media or putting videos or whatsoever, that is the essence of technology. No, you need to make good use of technology, but also embrace it in such a way that whatever you do, it empowers you. Because that's the essence of technology. You understand? Yeah. If you're doing business, incorporate technology in it that will take you to a stage that your business can grow. Whatever you do right now, these days, maybe in Gambia, but I mean, in the world out there, you cannot do anything and you expect a good profit out of it without embedding technology. Understand? So going forward in the future, technology is the future. So the young ones out there, whatever your career ambition is, try to lean it towards technology as well. Try to incorporate technology. So that is my final advice.
Good advice, Alhage. It was a pleasure having you on this platform, Generation Next. We are very grateful for you sharing your time with us, as precious as it is, as busy as you are, to honor us this time and speak to the people who will be impacted with the knowledge and experience your life journey has been. And we are very grateful to have you on this platform. Thank you very much once again.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to have me.
Great. So viewers, this is what we have for you today. And I am sitting in here for Miss Sira Chor. Unfortunately, she's not around with us. My name is Mohamed Traore. Until we meet again, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alhage.
Thank you. Thank you. See you next. Bye.
Right. So the live streaming is gone and